Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch another episode of She-Hulk. This is episode 2. It is called Superhuman Law. Last episode was a decent start to the show. I personally had a good time. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite, but I enjoyed it. But last episode ended with Jamil's character busting into the courtroom to cause a disruption, and our main character of Jen Walters turning into She-Hulk and defending everyone, and presumably now everyone knows she's She-Hulk. I have seen some theories that, whoever is in that courtroom kind of planned this, and it was kind of a test for Jen to see how controllable she is as She-Hulk, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'm excited to jump into episode 2, and hopefully it gets higher in quality as it goes along. That's one thing I heard from the reviews, is each episode gets better and better. So I am very interested to keep going. So before we do that, if you find yourself enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me and helps my channel out a ton. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That would mean the world as well. But otherwise, let's jump into episode 2 of She-Hulk.
Your ability to regulate your emotions, especially your anger.
Oh yeah, people were not happy about that scene, predictably. Oh yeah, that scene went viral.
A new superhero appears responsible for stopping the rampage, and she's been identified as Deputy District Attorney Jennifer Walters.
Okay, she does not have a choice to be a superhero. They're just dubbing her a superhero.
Then you tell us about what you saw today.
Yeah. So, this chick, pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
A She-Hulk?
Exactly.
That's for you. No.
Why would you go to the bar?
Which can't possibly be what they're calling me.
Lady Hulk, Girl Hulk, She-Hulk.
What do you want to be
Come on.
called?
Just give them what they want.
Girl. Own it. Yes. You're gonna have to buy some clothes from Big and Tall.
Neat little trick you pulled there, Walters.
Hey,
Don't you think it's a
little
little
trick you
unsportsmanlike
played.
to suddenly debut superpowers just to drum up publicity for yourself?
Only you would think that.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like talking about it.
Nepotism. You knew it.
Kinda, a little bit.
There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to
Nepotism.
it.
I'm gonna go talk to
I
it.
just gave you both of these drinks for free because you're a superhero.
She's not an it.
Do the Avengers offer healthcare?
No, but they're
Like a
famous.
maternity leave, a
If you have an
pension?
Instagram, you could be making cash in advertisements.
Jen, can I talk to you for a moment?
Of course, sir. What is it?
Could you go back to Jen? Jen, this is a serious conversation.
Oh.
Are you okay? Do you need...
Yeah. Different metabolism. I'm listening, sir.
She's slightly drunk now.
To save the lives of the entire jury today, GLK&H argued that the jury was then biased in your favor.
Maybe a little bit. I bet they planned it.
Well, you did the right thing, but it unraveled our case. I'm sorry, Jen.
I have to let you go.
I'm sorry too, boss.
No, Jen, I'm sorry.
What,
I have to
really?
let you go.
Why?
Wait, you're firing me?
She gets fired because she saved their lives. That's awful.
Hire a lawyer who's such a big distraction in court.
We're not prepared to offer you the position.
Oh no.
Sorry. It's a no.
I bet G&H planned this.
Here, GG&T might be hiring. Jen.
Become an
Jen,
influencer.
what are you doing? Eye on the prize.
Swish Village mascot.
I have a date.
I'll never forgive you for this.
Yeah, how rude. Why would you betray her like that?
You got fired.
Chad.
Nice, Chad.
So to bring it up.
I said don't bring it up. Why would I tell you to bring it up?
Sorry, Uncle Mo.
She already feels like complete crud.
It's okay, Dad.
What do I recognize this kid from?
It's fine.
Big news. So I got promoted to manager over at the Best Buy.
Manager.
Nice. Nice, Chad.
Ken, that Hawkeye guy.
Yes.
What happens to those arrows of his?
He's got to go
Does he
find
go
them.
around and collect them
Yeah.
when he's done?
Jenny?
He used to have Avengers employees to go find them. Now he has to do it himself.
How you doing, kiddo?
I'm okay.
Really?
No, I'm not okay, but I'm okay with not being okay.
Uh-huh.
Because it just sucks. You know, like I thought I could keep this at bay.
I feel that. I
for-
feel that.
I don't know how long.
Sometimes you just gotta be okay with not being okay.
Maybe I should have just let those people get smushed by that desk.
Sweetheart.
I should have just let him die.
And you didn't destroy a city.
That's accurate. That is accurate. Bruce went ham on Harlem.
The thing that you were dreading happened, but look, you're still standing. And now you get to keep moving on.
Is it Ally McBeal on the
No, I'm balling on a bar.
television at the bar?
Miss Walters, it's nice to see you again.
Mr. Holloway?
May I buy you a drink?
Or several?
I'd like to offer you a job.
Is this a joke?
Don't have a joke.
He's never heard of a joke in his life.
You got me fired, now you want to hire me.
Yeah, it was all part of the plan.
Division, yes. Take some time.
I accept. But I will only do it if I can hire my own paralegal. Non-negotiable.
I truly do not care who your paralegal is.
Yes.
Nice. You ever accidentally push on a pole?
We just started a Superhuman law division, and I want you, well, the She-Hulk, to be the face of it.
Oh.
That means I'll expect you to be at work and in court as the She-Hulk.
So you gotta buy new clothes.
This way, please.
You should get new clothes. How do those ones fit?
God, is this why they hired me?
Yes.
This sucks. I am totally
It is.
qualified, but now everyone around here is always going to think this is the only reason I got the job. It's so unfair.
Money.
These dodos never had to deal with this on their first day at work.
They definitely did not, no.
What do you think about it?
I'm agnostic.
Interesting. Unprecedented, for sure. Huh.
He's such a goofy dude. What is up with this guy?
Ah, here we are. Your office.
She's got her own corner office. That's bitchin'.
Big ass windows. Yes, a fully stocked
for real.
mini fridge and a desk.
Yeah, way cooler than your last job, arguably.
Pug. I'm also in the Superhuman Law Division.
Oh, I'm Jennifer Walters.
I made you guys a welcome basket.
Oh.
Okay.
It's got some office supplies to get you started, snacks.
I remember. What is this guy from?
Up to the best bathroom for both.
Thank you.
Let Carrington go, and then tell Bob Thompson that he's going to Minneapolis.
Hell yeah, Minneapolis. Let's
Just
go.
tell
Mr. Holloway, I'm so...
Woo. Gang, gang.
First case is the parole of Emil Blonsky.
Neat. It's like where Wong takes him to
I'm sorry, but I can't represent
go
him,
fight
sir.
in
I
Shang-Chi.
have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Whoa. Can't come in like that. No superpowers inside.
Now she's gonna be in a super baggy. Oh, I guess never mind. That was the outfit that fit her normally anyway.
Although we have taken every precaution, we cannot guarantee your safety. Do you accept
She'll be
these
fine.
conditions?
She'll be fine.
Yes.
She's a bomb. She's like the bomb. She could fight Abomination, maybe. She'd lose, but she could try. Oi, hello. My name's Abomination. What's cracking? Let's see how mad people get about this episode.
Jennifer Waters.
Jennifer Waters.
Wow. First off, Namaste.
I was expecting...
Abomination, right?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. I say, I've completely transformed myself. You know, physically, obviously, but also spiritually.
Okay, okay.
I'm simply Emil now. Russian-born, British-raised, Royal Marines Commando, on loan to the US government.
Sick.
The Hulk.
My cousin Bruce.
Semantics, he was of the Hulk, wasn't he? You know, I tried to kill him.
Yeah, accurate.
It wasn't personal.
You did.
Or anything.
I mean, it was deeply personal at the
I
time.
was under direct orders from your government.
But then you went on a destructive rampage in Harlem. That wasn't sanctioned by the government.
Yeah, because they pumped me full of that super soldier serum.
That's true.
Serum the government gave you caused your subsequent actions?
I was a highly decorated soldier.
You were also kind of a dick, but, you know, what you're saying is true.
I thought I was the good guy, you know? I thought I was going to be, you know, Captain Bloody America, something. Now that very threat, your cousin, is held up as some kind of hero, and I'm locked up in here.
I mean, yeah, true. No doubt. But you're also kind of a dick.
The going to need to know that you feel remorse for your actions to even consider release.
Absolutely, I do. See, and I have here various haikus that I've written.
Oh boy.
Nice. Oh. A haiku to each of your victims.
Tiny ears here.
If I were your attorney, I would advise you to speak truthfully from the heart.
That's all from the heart, Jen. Look, I just want to move on with my life. Live in peace on a large piece of property purchased for me by my 7 soulmates.
Purchased for me. Same, bro. I want to live on a large piece of property purchased by various soulmates. Sounds rad. Buzzball.
Hey, Jen, what's up?
How does he even hold a phone?
I have to take on Emil Blonsky as a client.
Okay,
I mean, it doesn't seem like you hold a grudge. At least you've never talked about that before. And you're always saying that, you know, everybody deserves a second chance. And I'm not falling for an act here, but Blonsky did seem to have really good arguments, you know? Isn't rehabilitation something that we should strive for as a
the
society?
fact that he can't even get
But
worded.
none of that matters if you don't feel comfortable with it.
I think you're calling me to tell me you're taking the job.
I'm calling you to tell you I'm taking the job. Yes.
Yeah. Indeed.
Actually, Blonsky wrote me a really nice letter a while back.
Did it have haikus in it?
So we put everything behind us. That fight was so many years ago. I'm a completely different person now.
You are literally a completely different person, much to the chagrin of the internet. That was a huge comparison before the show even started.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
You
coming to LA anytime soon?
Yeah, probably not for a minute. I got some things I gotta take care of.
Are you in space, Bruce? Bro. You just jumped to hyperspace? What, are you going to Sakaar? How did you invent such a dope phone?
I've already got a winning strategy, and it is 100% in the bag.
They don't expect you to win.
You might want to take a look at the news right now.
Yes.
Have a good evening, Miss Walters.
Blonsky breaks out, causes rampage.
Those statements made by Emil Blonsky's attorney after shocking footage leaked showing the
snap, for real?
Abomination participating in what appears to be an underground fight club.
Oh, Shang-Chi. Wong.
That sucks.
Wong, what did you do? You just made her job so much harder, Wong. Let's see. Any after credits? Any after credits? There is indeed after credits. So I will sit and I will watch for the after credits. Are these essentially like the storyboards for each episode that they put at the end? Because that's kind of fun.
I don't know what 4K is. This thing nobody does, but you still need it. Dude, I don't know what I'm doing down here. I'm tired.
Literally just holding the car up. Yeah, the car needs to be on the ground for you to loosen the bolts.
No, I could have done that. There you go. Yo, watch out for the lamp.
Don't think Chad could have done that.
There you go.
I'm glad you're staying hydrated, Dad, but this seems a little excessive.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, it is a little excessive, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, little tip there, if you're ever trying to change your tires, in order to fully loosen the lug nuts that keep your tires like on your car, you need to do it first with the car on the ground a little bit, so that when you crank it, it's not just turning the wheel. But once you get them loose, then you can lift the car up, then you can take the lug nuts off. You're Gucci. Hot tip of the day. That's so funny that her dad has her completing all the tasks that require like strength. He's like, I'm too old for this now. Even the mounting his TV, like she's like, bro. Chad's like, dude, I could have done that. You didn't need her for that. Come on now. This was a good episode. I liked this episode more than the first episode, which is, I appreciated the informational part of the first episode where we're learning kind of how she became She-Hulk and stuff like that. But I liked the flow of this episode better. Like it felt more like this is the episode that they planned. Because episode 1, I believe they came out and said that most of the scenes for episode 1 were originally meant for episode 8 or something like that. So it made sense why the flow of the episode and the pacing of the episode felt off, because it wasn't supposed to be episode 1. But this one felt like it was paced in a way that wasn't too quick, wasn't too slow. Really has placed us within the story, and we're now progressing at a natural level and a natural pace. So I liked this one a lot. I still think the post-credit scene of episode 1 is probably the best thing we've seen so far from the show, but that's just because it was hilarious. This episode was very fun though. But basically the overall gist of this episode is Jen can't get a job. Like, she gets fired because turning into the She-Hulk and saving all those people created a bias from the jury, mistrial, yada yada yada. But now none of these places will hire her because they don't want it to be seen as like hiring like a distraction. And then in their mind, any jury that is on one of the cases that she is on, like, inherently will have an opinion on the She-Hulk, right? Much like the internet right now everyone has an opinion on the She-Hulk. Like, they don't want to have a situation where like it just gets in the way of cases, right? Like, from a publicity standpoint, you kind of have to it's something you have to think about, right? Like, I still think she deserves a job, obviously, but as someone who's in charge of hiring people, you do have to think about, like, every case that she would take on, no matter how big or small it is, would inherently take on, additionally, a level of media scrutiny and fan popularity, and it would be a whole big thing you would have to deal with. And, you know, as someone who's in charge, you might not want to deal with that. Like, it might be preferable to just hire a regular lawyer who's probably, you know, just as good at their job. You know, at this point, we haven't seen necessarily anything to show that Jen is, like, far and above better than anyone else at the job, right? Like, I mean, in the comics, I believe she's an incredible lawyer. And we've seen that she's a solid lawyer so far, but, you know, it's not like we've seen, like, oh, she's the greatest lawyer to ever exist, right? So I, to an extent, understand the people that are like, hey, man, like, we're not going to hire you. Like, we're just going to hire someone who will get the job done pretty much the same amount and isn't She-Hulk. But I'm still partial to the theory that that GLK&H planned that whole break in thing and the whole conflict in order to get her fired and make her the head of their little program. You know, we don't necessarily know exactly why they wanted her specifically to be the head of this superhero law division, but they did. They wanted her to be part of it pretty badly, and I'm guessing they started this whole thing in order to make it happen. But yeah, I mean, her life as the She-Hulk is so far not a fun time, right? Like, it came out that she would be the She-Hulk, or that she was the She-Hulk, sorry, and whether it be out in public or at home, her life is just drastically different. Like, everyone in public is like, She-Hulk, She-Hulk, like, loving it, loving the big, hot, tall lady. Like, let's buy her drinks, like, step on me, mommy type stuff. And then she goes to family dinner, and everything that they do is predicated on the fact that she's She-Hulk. You know, her mom is giving people her phone number to talk about superhero advice with, and it's just like, you know, a whole big thing. Thankfully, her dad is pretty chill. He's like, I just had to get you out of there. Like, that was rough. But he does give her some good advice, and he's like, hey, the worst thing that you wanted to happen, like that, the thing that you didn't want to happen, happened. Now you just got to move on. Like, you're an adult. You have to live your life somehow. Like, what are we going to do next? And that's pretty solid advice. And then she gets the job as She-Hulk, and she has to be She-Hulk at work. Like, which means they didn't hire her based on her ability as a lawyer, right? Like, that's not why they wanted her. They wanted her for the public image of She-Hulk working for them, which, you know, maybe that was the only way they thought they could win this Blonsky case, right? Is they're like, you know, if we can get the She-Hulk to be Blonsky's lawyer, you know, the public perception of, you know, his greatest enemy, the family of his greatest enemy joining his side, that could cause a pretty solid public image shift of like, hey, maybe he's not the worst guy. And he you know, that's a fairly solid possible way to win that case, maybe. Right now, that seems like the big case that they're figuring out. And she talks to Blonsky, and he's pretty chill. He's like, hey, man, listen, I don't want to be Abomination anymore. And it's such an interesting conversation, because leading up to this show, right, the internet was doing so many comparisons. Like, specifically the scenes in the trailers that we saw Abomination in, where he had somewhat of a higher pitched voice, which is literally just Tim Roth's voice. And they're like, oh no, they made him Taika Waititi, they made him a joke. And it's like, he's Abomination, like destroying Harlem, like just showing screenshots from the Amazing Hulk, or the Incredible Hulk, sorry, where he's like peak Abomination destroying everything and showing, you know, that Hulk from that movie and then showing screenshots from this and being like, look what they did. It's honestly inexcusable. And it's like, bro, this is a comedic lawyer show. Get over yourself. Like, what do you think is gonna be in this show, fam? Like, come on. But he does lay out a pretty solid argument to an extent, right? He's like, hey, at the time, I was just, you know, a special ops soldier on loan to the U.S. government, doing what I was told to do. They juiced me up with the super soldier serum, and that is what caused my rampage on Harlem. And to an extent, he's a little right. Granted, he was very much fully on board hunting down Bruce. if we're being real, he was like, hell yeah, let's do this. And then they juiced him up, and it maybe had some negative effect on him, but then he was like, I want more, right? Like, he wanted more juice. He wanted the juice. It's got the juice. You guys seen that Korn remix? It's corn. A big lump of knobs. Beside the point. But he's like, hey man, I'm chill now. I'm writing haikus to my victims, right? Like I'm a chill dude. And she's like, well, all right, maybe. She calls Bruce, and Bruce is like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to visit LA anytime to talk. And it cuts to him on a spaceship flying through space on that Sicarian spaceship. Does he just have one of those? That one looked like it was painted, right? Is that the one from the first episode, or is that because he's got like a desk and everything, so it looks like his like a personal setup for himself. So is that his ship? Like, does he just have that on his own that he can use anytime he wants? I don't think that's the one from the first episode, but it might be. I thought that one wasn't painted, but this one could be the one from Thor Ragnarok that looks painted, like the pleasure ship or whatever, the orgy ship. So very curious where Bruce is going. Is he going to Sakaar to deal with whatever he's dealing with? There's lots of theories about, you know, what they're setting up with Bruce's story in terms of possibly a child that he might have had in Hulk form during his 2 years on Sakaar. You know, possibly setting up like a World War Hulk storyline, because there's also a lot of rumors about the potential that the film and TV rights or whatever for the Incredible Hulk might be reverting back to Marvel next year or something like that, in 2023, because what was it, like it's been a certain amount of years since Universal has made, like, since they've made and produced like a solo Hulk property or whatever. And I think just like the Fantastic Four at the time, I think that was a stipulation of like Fox keeping Fantastic Four. I think that's a stipulation of Sony keeping Spider-Man as well, is they have to produce some sort of movie about that character every however many years. Otherwise the rights like automatically revert back to Marvel. That's why we've seen so many Spider-Man movies over the years, is because if they don't make those Spider-Man movies, then Marvel gets the rights back to him. So there's lots of interesting ideas and theories about what they could be setting up with the Hulk, because they've kind of, I think there's been a lot of people are not thrilled with the treatment of Hulk in the MCU so far. They feel like he's been kind of neutered and kind of turned into Smart Hulk for various reasons. But one of the big reasons is they think that Marvel has been avoiding making some of the bigger, more famous, more fun Hulk stories where he's like hulking out and destroying things and really showing off his power, because they believe they're getting the rights back, and they wanted to wait to make those until they had the rights. And then now that the rights are possibly coming back to them, they might be setting stuff up to potentially have him, you know, have those cool stories going forward. That's very interesting, and I wonder if that's true, how they're going to fit that in and everything. I assume we'll actually probably know more in a couple weeks at D23, because D23 is typically where they announce all the like the new shows and new casting. There's rumors that they're going to announce the cast for Fantastic Four at D23. You know, there's that whole section of open movie and show slots in phase 6 or whatever. So we're not 100% sure what is going to go. We only know the 2 Avengers films that are in that phase. That could be something that is announced at D23, maybe some solo Hulk stuff. Very curious. But yeah, we're gonna figure out, and then yeah, the episode ends with so episode 2, it looks like episode 2 ends it's very curious, because I don't know, how does this work within the timeline? Right? Because so this episode ends with news clips from Shang-Chi, right? In the movie Shang-Chi, Abomination and Wong are fighting at the underground fight club that Shang-Chi's sister runs, but they're like chill, right? And then he takes him back to his prison, and it seems like that was like an okay thing. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe Wong just showed up and he was like, maybe Wong is one of his like soulmate pen pals. That would be so funny. But it's curious because, you know, that movie takes place, but then the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi includes Bruce with a still like broken arm and that little device on his arm. And, you know, they're talking about 10 Rings, Captain Marvel's there, whatever. But then episode 1 of this had Bruce in human form with the arm thing. So I'm curious how exactly that lines up. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this news clip didn't get released when it actually happened. You know, maybe someone at this club was sitting on this clip and just waited to put it on YouTube or wherever. I'm not sure. That's very curious, but I guess we'll find out how that lines up eventually. Hopefully they make everything work, but I'm not sure. I'll have to watch like a New Rockstars video on like how exactly that timeline works, because it's a little confusing if I'm honest. But then yeah, funny post-credit scene where she's helping out with household tasks as She-Hulk, because she's super strong and can do that. Again, tip for changing your tires. They were doing it wrong. She was just lifting up the whole back of the car, and he was complaining. He's like, oh, I do it, and it just turns the wheels. Yeah, it's supposed to do that. It's supposed to do that because you didn't have... the car needs to be on the ground before you loosen the lug nuts, right? So anytime you're changing a tire, with the car on the ground first, loosen the lug nuts, and then lift the car up, and then take the lug nuts fully off, take the tire off, put put the new tire on, tighten or put the lug nuts on so they're somewhat tight, then lower the car, and then crank them on so they're like actually tight, you know, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this episode was better than the last one. Predictably, I don't know if I said it in the edit of the last episode, but when she had that moment about controlling her anger, I was like, okay, so people are not going to like this part. I thought it was something that needed to be said, but was also pretty on the nose. And that, ooh baby, a triple. That little clip went so freaking viral on the internet. It's insane. Literally half of the reactions to that scene were people being like, yes, like this needs to be said. Like, this might be the first time that many men or young boys are hearing this, like the perspective of a woman dealing with this type of thing. Like, this needs to be said in a major comic book property. Like yes, like snaps, like good She-Hulk. We love it. Like, so many people, especially women, felt very validated by that scene. But then the other side had various arguments. One of them was like, okay, I agree with both sides, honestly, where I'm like, this needed to be said. Two, it's also very on the nose, and I think they knew it was going to be on the nose, and they planned it to be on the nose. But there were so many people that were like, you know, this is the type of dialogue that's specifically written to end up as like a 6-panel viral post on Tumblr. Like, and it's I mean, not super wrong, right? Like, that's the exact type of, because that's exactly what happened, right? Someone I think it was Stoobs, which, shout out to Stoobs. Jay Stoobs is great. She's awesome. Incredibly intelligent, nerdy individual, on TikTok especially, but she's also on other platforms. If you have a chance and are looking for nerdy content from an incredibly smart woman, look up Jay Stoobs. She's awesome. But she was the one I was referencing, where she was like, you know, so many people need to hear this. This is great. And a lot of people quote tweeted her tweet being like, and her tweet went viral, had lots and lots of likes, because she's right. But then there was also a lot of quote tweets being like, this is exactly what Marvel dialogue has turned into, is just like, you know, fodder for the viral machine. And to an extent, I get that too, because that's exactly what ended up happening, is it went viral on the internet, and that seemed to be kind of the whole point of that specific dialogue scene and how it was delivered. And then you obviously had that third section of the internet, the Andrew Tate fanboys, the quartering fanboys, you know, all those douchebags, those like just misogynistic absolute assholes that are like, you know, Marvel's so friggin' woke, they hate men, this show's anti-men, I'm a man and I can't get a girlfriend now because of this show. And it's like, bro, you couldn't get a girlfriend before. Oh, and so like that one clip from She-Hulk created such a mega controversy. It's kind of insane. And somehow both, like, one, the side that's like, oh, it's woke, it's anti-men, those guys are dumb and they're wrong. But the other part where it's like half, you know, men need to hear this, people need to hear this, this is important for Marvel to put out. That's right, but the fact that it was specifically designed to go viral is also correct. Like, they didn't write that scene as like a, hey, this is a genuine moment within the show type thing. Like, they wrote that scene knowing that people would either love it or be upset. They knew going in that when they wrote, filmed, edited, and put out that episode, that scene specifically would be a viral talking point. And they planned it that way. Don't get anyone wrong. Marvel was very aware of what they did. And whether that was intentionally to gain traction for the show or intentionally to gain traction for that specific message that dialogue was sending, up for debate. But it very much was planned to go viral. So just be aware of that. It was very on the nose, and I think they wanted it to be on the nose, and it may have needed to be on the nose if we're being honest. But that's just an interesting look back at episode 1. Episode 2, I thought was much better. They didn't really have any of those on the nose moments. You know, I think maybe the most on the nose moment was Jen literally breaking the fourth wall, which is how it should be, being like, man, now they're all gonna hate me because I only got the job because of She-Hulk, not my abilities. She's like, that sucks. That was the most on the nose moment, and that was like literally a fourth wall break, so it's expected. But episode 2, again, I thought was better than episode 1 in most ways. I enjoyed it a lot. I really just enjoy Tatiana Maslany flexing her acting muscle and being charismatic as hell. Just a good time. She's excellent. And from what I heard from the reviews, so they showed the first 4 episodes to people at the premiere, I believe, and most people said they enjoyed episode 1 the least, and then episode 2 a little more, and then episode 3 a little more, and then episode 4 a little more. So as it goes on, people are liking more episodes better than the previous one. So, and that definitely tracks with this episode in terms of my enjoyment. I liked episode 2 better than episode 1, and I'm looking forward to episode 3. Lots of fun stuff that they've opened the door to in terms of both Jen's story and Bruce's story, and I'm very curious to see where it goes next week. But I think that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching. Definitely let me know all your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinions if they are not sexist. If you're gonna come up in my comments with a MCU this is woke type comment, you're gonna get blocked. That's just the way it goes, bro. I have no hesitation to block you. But otherwise, if you have normal things to say, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel out a ton. If you are new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more of She-Hulk, because I'm going to be watching it every week. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, or you just want to support me in general, consider checking out my Patreon that is linked in the description below. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.